This is a $1 million Bitcoin mining farm in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. And I've spent the last week helping my buddies set it up. So let's step inside and check it out. My old friend Mike is getting into the Bitcoin mining business, so we drove over 1,000 miles across the USA to find out what it takes to run one of these very hot, very loud, and very expensive crypto mining farms.
I would say that's more than 10 degrees.
Yeah.
It's about 10 to 15 degree delta. The output side is like 135 degrees. 135, 140.
Yeah, that's incredible, dude. Now, if you're anything like me, you've probably traded some crypto, traded a little bit of Bitcoin, and you've read about this whole crypto mining thing, but you don't really understand how it all works. And that's exactly why I've decided to make this video, to peel back the curtain and take an inside look at this weird and wonderful industry. But little did I know that along the way, I would have one of the wildest weeks of my entire life. In a place with more bars per capita than anywhere else in the country. Where the wheels of fortune decide your drinks.
Blackberry brandy.
You're only gonna have fun.
I drink brandy.
The games are on point.
High score, Mike.
And the great memories pile up.
And you got us feeling alright. Oh.
So join me and my new friends for lots of cheese, lots of adventure, and an inside look at the world of crypto mining.
So it's not necessarily the tidiest farm, but like our motto is usually it just has to be online and hash. Doesn't have to look pretty. So like history of my spot, I bought out an auction of a farm that was going under. Like a farm, it was like megawatts of power. They had hundreds of cards in huge hallways like this. Nobody really saw the auction online. It wasn't publicized anywhere. A friend let me know about it. So I was able to get racks like this full of AMD 580s for like a couple $100 each, like $50 a card. And they weren't going for much more than that. But then when the bull market hit in 21, like I now had like 300 or 400 of them in storage. They weren't making much money at the time, but then they blew up to like $100, $200, $300. Because as soon as they start making $1 a day again, $50 is a fucking steal. Got a U-Haul truck and like ripped down everything they had there. At least what I won. Like I found out about the auction like the day before. So I had to like that was my life savings. So I'm like, do I blow my life savings on a fucking auction 3 states away that I have to go pick up tomorrow? Yeah. Like, so I had to like rent the truck last minute. But anyways, so I basically copied their design and just stacked it here. All these racks I got from them, these I got from them. And more recently now, I've replaced it with like 30 series cards out of the 580s aged out. But you can see some of the old, like here's the old Honda 580s that came from that auction with replaced fans. These are, like I said, a little worse for wear. Here's an example of like how they had it set up. These are the old cards and stuff. Network stack comes in right over here. Let me show you the intake. If you look in here, this is why we need filters and hoods. Like, I cleaned this out last time I was here like 2 weeks ago. And if you're not here for like a month, it'll be like a dryer sheet where you have to like pull the lint off. It's nuts. Yeah, power supplies are hanging right here for space. PDUs are all hooked up right here. Network comes here and then just distributes all along the back wall. And then as I started to get into this more and more, these kind of just blow out and around the room, so it's hard to control the airflow. So then I started looking into, like, once I got more industrial, I started looking into server style cases. Those are loud and hot and annoying and you don't really want them in the house. But now once I had a spot like this, it was a lot easier to do that. And I put them over here. So these are the server style cases. The airflow is just a lot more channeled and directed, and there's a whole wall of them. So they pop all their hot air into the hot aisle on the back. There's just like, it should just get sucked right out by those fans. Oh, this is what I plan to replicate and scale up to in the Onalaska spot, but basically like a whole wall, like 60 feet long of them. All right, so number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I think we want to do number 6 on the end. So we're only getting the left half of the power strip there. This one I gotta do some work on. Look at that bug splatter, like along the wall. It's just like a graveyard back there. They get shot out like a cannon.
So this is a Wisconsin only beer. What's this called?
Spotted cow.
Spotted Cow. Nick, who is a Linux systems engineer by day and crypto miner / DJ by night, owns the Bitcoin mine we'll be setting up in this video and was nice enough to show us around the beautiful little town he calls home. He even let us stay at his place during our trip for free, making me realize that Midwest nice is a real thing. What a guy. A short drive down the road from La Crosse is Onalaska, Wisconsin, a tiny town where Nick has decided to set up his Bitcoin farm. Why here? For the same reason that Bitcoin mining operations spring up in small towns all across the world. The power's cheap. Really cheap.
Dude, just fucking hit it from the outside. We gotta replace it anyway. I know. It won't plug
But before Nick can start mining his Bitcoin, my buddy Mike has to do what he came here to do, which is install better ventilation in this building to keep it cool. Because like I said earlier, these machines get hot and loud. And there's only 10 machines running at the moment. When all of these shelves are filled, there will be over 300 machines, so this is only 10 machines and it's this noisy.
We just, like I said, built this building. We wired it up with a megawatt worth of electricity. So we're just trying to fill it as, to the brim with miners as much as we can. So we just partnered with Chris and the guys from Maryland. They just brought out 100 ASICs. We're just getting them racked and stacked and plugged in and trying to get that hash online as fast as possible. Yeah, gonna turn into one big hot computer case, basically.
Yeah, loud and hot.
Yep.
On the other side of the Mississippi River lies Minnesota and the city of Winona, which is where Nick works, for one of the largest companies in the USA. He's one of only 10 people who has access to this Fortune 500 company's data center and was nice enough to give me a tour.
So power comes in from here to feed the distribution panels. I was gonna buy a couple of these for my location. Yeah. These are our C-Rack chillers. The AC in the building, and then here's all the gear. This is our new storage array, so that's like a couple hundred terabytes of data. And if you come over here, this is the cold aisle, it feels nice. Come over here. All the servers. This is compute, that's CPU and RAM only. The storage goes in the things over there. So it's like segmented almost. I think mostly networking on this side. And then here's more compute. Well, a lot of our compute is right here. I think they're locked. I don't know where the key is right now, or there's an open for you, but these are all CPU blades. So each one of these squares, there's 8 in a chassis. Each square has like 700 to a terabyte of RAM. 700 gigs to a terabyte. Like most home computers have like 8. So we're like 100 times that in a tiny spot. Each blinking light is a hard drive.
This is crazy.
That's stand right here.
Yeah. Very windy. It seems that if you shove enough computing power into one room, you can accomplish anything, from running one of the largest companies in America to mining for Bitcoin in small, middle-of-nowhere towns all across the country and all across the world.
If we're staying at the hotel tonight, and I plead the fifth. Zach is in room 517.
Now, as someone who's a musician who used to play in lots of bars and drink way too much, I gotta give props to this guy for reaching for a phantom microphone he forgot was in his other hand.
Are you with me?
exactly.
Okay.
There's never a bad time to pull out guns. It's always a good time.
It's a 20 round. Just because you can't get a 30 round in a bench rest, this is a bench rest gun. You know what I mean? This is a 6x18.
After partying our faces off like true Americans and then going home and playing with guns like true Americans, it was time to get back to work like true Americans and make some cheddar by setting up a friggin' Bitcoin farm.
So after stripe green, go solid blue, then stripe blue. Now goes both the blues, you cap it off the green, and then you put the browns in.
I'm not good at this, but I'm trying. I'm getting better at it. Awesome.
Like a vending machine.
Here, you pull them.
This is your payout. You come back here. Here's your pop open. Pull open the tab. Nothing.
No.
Pull open the tab. Nothing. Pull open the tab. Nothing.
So
But, you know what
I
mean?
lose.
You want to get 3 in a row.
Now, I'm no stranger to gambling, but I've never seen these pull tabs before. Apparently, they're unique to the Midwest, just like this game.
Oh, no, you gotta use the other end. And that, yeah, no, it's not supposed to be easy. There, oh my God, you dog!
I've not missed a fucking day. Oh, fuck. Ended up first?
Yeah.
Hey! Ooh, I missed.
Nick was reluctant to get up and do karaoke, so we made sure to embarrass him to the maximum level possible, but he had a few drinks and loosened up. Working around these very loud machines is bad enough as it is, but when you're hungover and you have a headache, it is torture. We're opening up more boxes and setting up more machines today, but there's only about 1/3 of the machines that will fill this whole place in the building right now. When this place is completely full, the total value of this Bitcoin farm will be about $1 million. From everything I'm told, crypto mining can be very profitable in the long run, but man, is it an expensive hobby.
So this is one of my most interesting rigs. I don't have it open, so obviously you can't tell. They had a card called an A100, which is used for machine learning. They chopped them down a little bit. I think what they did was they used their cards that couldn't pass QC to be a full chip, and they kind of chopped them down and turned them into mining chips. So these, normally the version of these cards were I think retailing for 15 grand each. The crypto versions were going for about 4. I think I paid $4,400 for each card. There's 8 cards in here. So this is a $32,000 rig when I bought it new. Now they're only probably going for 800 each. This one rig is equivalent to 2 or 3 of these. And it's also super power efficient. It gets 0.8 mega hash per watt instead of 0.4 or 0.5. So this one is probably still profitable. I should turn it on. But they don't have any fans, or they're meant to run in a data center. So they need these extra strap fans.
Back at Nick's GPU farm, he takes me through the building and shows me something else I never thought I would see, how circuit boards are made.
It's pretty eccentric. But this is basically a pick and place machine. I think it's SMI, a surface mount something. These make circuit boards. He ended up getting money from his family and a couple business partners, bought one of these machines. Come over here, he's super into Bitcoin mining. So he can buy old chips on a reel, this is a reel. His idea was to buy old broken Bitcoin machines. I think this is an empty reel, but ideally the chips would come on here. You load them into the machine right there. You send the circuit boards through. It the robot arms pick up the chips, place them in, and then it sends it through a solder oven. So it flows the solder, and then that's how you make a board. Yeah, super interesting. I've never met anybody that does anything like this. These are I think they're capacitors anyway. And there's chips on those reels and stuff. You can see one popping out right there, that tiny, 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 tiny little blue chip. And here's a bunch of them. All these scraps, I think, are capacitors. That's why you need a super precise machine that can pick in places. Because if you're trying to solder the leads on that, good luck.
I think the thing that I like most about Nick is that he works hard and he plays hard. He's got great work-life balance, so it was off to the beach to relax in the sun after a hard week of setting up the farm. After the beach, he introduced me to another one of his many hobbies, frisbee golf.
Almost like a bowling strike. Like, you know how bowlers have that step up and then they cross their foot? You start with your arm back like you're gonna start a lawnmower, and you pull it through, get a little arc on it, and then...
Show me how it's done.
Go ahead. I said, I'll play with you. Bill Casper's not that anymore. I know the Reds beat him in the deadlift. There's proof.
Now, Nick won't actually be mining any Bitcoin himself in this building, but will instead rent these racks out to a pool of clients who own these ASIC machines. Called hosting, Nick will essentially be a landlord for a few hundred very noisy tenants, which means if these things overheat or break, he has to fix the issue.
This is what connects the ASICs to the control board. You can see the actual ASIC chip. There's 3 boards, one of them's here, one of them's here, one of them's here. Now we've got the boards disconnected, we've got the fans disconnected, we're going to disconnect the power supply. Cables are loose, and the front plate is taken off, you can take out the brain.
ASIC, which stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit, is an integrated circuit chip designed for a specific purpose, in this case, mining for Bitcoin. Is that your hangover cure?
The large circle on the controller is the trackpad.
Look at that shit, man. That's wild. What's his name? Yeah, little squishy ball. Oh, shit. I got the face. It's been so long.
We all gave Nick's virtual reality setup a try, and just like frisbee golf, I was pretty trash, but I had fun. After FaceTiming with his kids back on the East Coast, Mike was homesick and ready to start heading back. We had an absolute blast hanging out in this gorgeous corner of Wisconsin, and I can't thank Nick enough for all of his hospitality. This is what's most interesting to me about Bitcoin mining. Seeing firsthand the types of places these crypto miners target, meeting the people, drinking the beer, and walking the streets of a typical frontier town in this 21st century version of the gold rush. Given people's never-ending quest to escape the rat race, it's no surprise crypto has become as popular as it is. So how much money does Nick stand to make from all this? Well, he charges the owners of the ASIC machines $250 per month for storage and maintenance. He can fit up to 350 of them in his building. So when at full capacity, he'll earn $87,500 per month in revenue. And after all his expenses, which includes a nasty electric bill, he'll take home about $35,000 each month.
This is the actual GPU die. This is the brain, and then these little black squares are the memory chips around it. Input output power regulation, brain, memory chips.
GPUs, ASICs, hash rate. Look, I'm a normal, average dude with a normal, average dude's knowledge of crypto. I just spent a week around all this stuff, and I still barely understand what's going on here. Is Bitcoin mining terrible for the planet? Is crypto a scam? Will these people actually make any money? No idea. But what I do know is that Nick's a great guy, and I hope it all works out for him. No matter what happens, I'll always remember the amazing time I had here in beautiful Wisconsin. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, you set it up and you bring it down. Oh.